want to really point out, like, it's about, writing it down and then trying it, learning, failing, and then doing it again to someone that I don't know. Big teams, big creative teams create strategies, right? And I created 2 different ones, and now I'm creating a third one because the first one was great. I was able to somewhat put it down, but the mission and the goal, I just don't align with it anymore. I'll read it. So the mission is to inspire beginners, dreamers, and creators to start filming yourself. Now that's a good mission, but it's not going to be my overall mission, right? My overall mission is to get hired and to get paid to produce content. Right here is like the goal is to organic growth through series and BTS. Now I'm known for BTS because that is just like what I like to do, and it's just easy for me to do that. Then my second strategy was to dive into creating more of a brandable strategy where I would get hired. The problem is, which I found out yesterday, is that this is a long-term goal, right? So the strategy of building an audience with my makeup, with filming makeup, is not something that my audience is following me for. So for me to kind of spring on a new concept, I've already lost 11,000 followers. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to use this also as a different insight on my page. So the first one will be to, yes, inspire others to film themselves. So this right here is going to be one insight. The second one is going to be the makeup and filming with models or friends. And that's going to be the second insight. Now the third one is going to be, I'm going to incorporate these 2 and still, so I'm going to be feeding 3 different markets, right? So how do I write that down? Sheet. Okay. So that's the thing though, but I want to really point out, like, it's about, writing it down, putting it down, and then trying it, learning, failing. That wasn't a thing. And then doing it again. Now, if I didn't put this down, I wouldn't have been able to do this, and now I wouldn't be able to have the third one, which they all are vital to create my signature, who I am as an artist, because instead of this being my page, this is just one part of my page. This is just one part of my page, and the other one's going to be another part of my page. So, I mean, I love this. Let me get another paper. Let's see. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Whew. One thing I will say is you have got to be resilient, and you have to build that, as a creative, because I have been going, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're like on fire, and there's going to be a lot of times you're not. And those are going to be the times where you really want to be able to know your why and be clear on that, because I had this revelation on how my approach with this, which only lasted like 2 weeks, is only good for one part of my page, not the whole thing. Because I was thinking this is going to be 4 different insights. The series, I'm going to put a pin on that. And I wouldn't have had that revelation if I didn't go through all of this. So when it comes to like really building a long-term community and a cohesive page, you have got to try and do all different types of things so that you learn from them, and it gets you to putting it all together to where I'm at now. Now, from where I started with these funnels to where I'm at now, it's been about it's going to come up on a year. Now that sounds like a long time, but if you think about it, Like when it comes to content and building a community, it's not about, just doing trending things and and just getting viral, because I went semi-viral for one video, and like it was great. Like it's still within who I am, but then as far as like tips to provide for people, I just didn't have any anymore. So like I didn't know what to post. And so that's why it's good to have different types of insights, where if you do other stuff, like in this one right here is like the artist date. And this is what I've been learning from the book, that the artist way is to take yourself out on dates to like, get inspiration, collect sounds, colors, textures, all of that. And it's going to help kind of the machine in your, it's going to help like keep your creativity of like going, because every time we post something or we create something, we're taking out of our creative mind. And a way to kind of refill it from what the book says is to go on artist dates, is to look at images, is to get inspiration. Now, when I do this, I will without a doubt have different tips on how to do that, which would be another insight. So when I was stuck, it's because I was only doing tips. And now I'll be doing 3 different things, which all of them will help each other stay afloat, or I don't know the word. But again, like I just feel so good, because I didn't know where I was going, and my views went from like thousands of likes to like 4. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? So this one's 7/29. Oh, I need to put the date for this one. I need to write the date. So 7, 8, 9. So this only lasted like a little bit over a month. So 7, 8. So we're in 8, so a little bit less than a month. Okay. So now today's the 26th, right? So 26. I like to date it. I don't know why there's no date on this one. That's crazy. But I like to date it to kind of see the progress. And this second one was 7/29. Today's 8/26. So there's definitely progress of me just continually like growing. Now, how this is going to play out is, so from this one, which a lot of people like my content, which I need to feed so that they don't leave me. You got to feed different markets. I don't know if I want to write in pen right away. Okay, so say, okay, so I'm gonna call this strategy. So this one's called filming. So I'm gonna call this feed. Okay, I'm gonna call this feed 3 different audiences, people. Yeah, let's just keep it simple. People. I had a ruler. Whatever. Pew pew. That's it. Okay, so the first one is going to be film it anyway. Okay. Film it anyway. Which is just going to mission inspire others to film the mundane. Okay, so that's one. The second is going to be tips, right? How to film yourself and how and camera settings, right? And camera settings and directing models. And on shoots and how to direct your shoot. Okay. Now the third one so this one, the tips, this one's gonna be why people follow me. So it's the main market, a feed old. So this one's gonna be like feed long-term followers. So this is why I even got a following, was because of my tips. Right? Follow. Film It Anyway is going to be kind of showing raw, unpolished, you can do it. You can do it. Easy that you could do it. You know? Easy. So it's kind of like, what is this one? This one's kind of like, shadow. Okay, no. Show your work. Purpose. Show your work. Okay, so it's unpolished. So raw, unpolished. So kind of like a role model, right? Your audience can expect this entertainment and way different. So the Film It Anyway is just to kind of to show it's a raw, unpolished. It's raw, unpolished, so feed long-term followers. So this one's going to be raw, unpolished, inspire, shows just relatable moments where people can feel encouraged to film. Right? Okay. So that's what I got from this one. Okay, so Film It Anyway is just filming different moments, so relatable moments. So that's the key point right here. It's going to be relatable moments. This one's going to be like how-tos right there. And then the third, which is is going to be my artist date, which I'll show. So this one's going to be the artist date, is where I mission show how I get inspiration, I don't know why I can't spell inspiration, by going out in the world to collect sounds, textures, smells, so sounds, so the sensory get inspiration by going out to collect sensory, going out into the world to feel and learn and collect. See, if it's hard, that means it's not supposed to. If it's hard for me to write down, that means it's not clear enough, right? So the artist day is show how I get inspiration by going out into the world. Keep it like that. How I get inspiration, the fuel process senses, keen and inspired. Always different. Okay, so this is kind of like more of like, okay, so I'm going to be like, so collect sensory notes, sounds, sight, taste, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4 was the fifth one. So sounds, sights, taste, touch. What are the 5 senses? So sounds, smells, and smells. So how would I do this? So this one's show a relatable moment. So film relatable moments where people can feel encouraged to film the same. Okay, this one's just tips. And missions show how I get inspiration by going out into the world to collect sensory notes. Sounds, sight, taste, touch, smells. Now, this one's going to be like, and then so these are just relatable moments. These are tips. And this is how I get inspiration. Right? So I think I'm going to do a fourth one. So this one's going to be like, okay, so let's see. Artist day. I was like, okay, so today, let's go on a date. Okay. Let's go on a date. Where should we go? And then here, I'm going to focus on med spas. The thing is, my friend was telling me I should do restaurants, but there's no money in restaurants, and I don't want to do restaurants. Farmers markets. I mean, we could put possibly restaurants. Yeah, because then I can still go in and hey, stuff like that. Sounds like, so this is how I collect for inspiration. So relatable moments, how to, it's like, get inspiration or get inspirations. And then the fourth one is or interview people on how did makeup show up for you. So technically I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different insights. The fifth one I guess could just be Final Cut. Because the artist day is going to be focused on how to going out there and collecting different senses, or playing with my senses, or adding to add to my sensory notes. So add sounds, add, collect. I'm not resonating with that. So add to. You also want to use words that you connect with. Like collect, I got it from ChatGPT, but like when I hear collect, it doesn't really connect. So I'm gonna be like add to my sensory notes, which is, then I could use collect. Collect sound, sights, taste, touch, smell. So this is where I'm gonna go out there, and it's gonna be like, okay, let's see what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be like, on the go. But also I'll be able to film. So probably, because med spas is where it would be cool to. Would that actually? So the I Found Beauty series is when I interview people on how makeup showed up for you. So that's going to be more of an interview style. So I'll have interviews, testimonials, and then stories. Testimonial stories. So that's cool. I like that. Okay, the artist date. Well, I will go to different spas, right? So, okay, so I think that's it, because this one I'm going to be able to be like, okay, so this is a good med spa to go to. Okay, this is, and then how am I incorporating that and getting inspiration? So this one could change. It jumps between med spa, restaurants, farmers markets. Where else can I collect sounds? City. No, it would just be that. Just keep that. Okay. So I'm going to leave that at that. So one thing is, I can't even believe I just forgot about this, is that the idea is to sell my vibe and get hired by different companies to produce content for them. And I had lost the thought of me doing that. For some reason, I just didn't want to be in front of the camera, because I wasn't getting brand deals with the tips and being in front of in the camera. So I realized that, at that moment I was like, I'm not going to get in front of the camera. Like, I'm not getting deals with being in front of the camera. So that's why I started to shift and doing other things. But what I realized too is that when I was in front of the camera, I wasn't showing any type of product. I wasn't really focusing on being brandable. And that just clicked yesterday, is that I am selling my vibe. I'm selling who I am as an artist, and I can be in front of the camera and still get brand deals. I just have to make sure I, I could get in front of the camera and get brand deals just like you. The thing is, you have to add a product. You have to somehow create it to where it's not so commercial-ish, but like where people watch it and they don't realize that it's a commercial, but it is. in a sense, like where you're going, like say I go on an artist date, right, to the farmer's market, right, and in before I go out, I put like this sunblock on my face so I could show myself putting that sunblock, getting ready, and then maybe drinking some type of probiotic drink thing, and just like showing slight products so that it doesn't I'm not telling you that it's a commercial. I'm just showing you the things that I use, which will show you how, like, which will show the brand, right? So it's kind of, it just smooth like butter. And I just got very self-conscious because I thought like I wasn't good enough to be in front of the camera and get paid. So I started to film other people and tried to do it that way. But I realized like it's hard to film someone else's vibe, and the best story that you could tell is your own. So I'm still gonna interview like my friends when it comes to makeup, but that's not gonna be my main focus. My main focus is gonna be all four, and I'm very excited. So I'm gonna put down right here. It's like sell your vibe. Sell, like, yeah, because I'm selling my vibe, right? Yeah. Sell your vibe. So companies can hire you for showing their product in my videos. You are the brand. And that's the thing. It's like I've known this. Like I wrote it down in like this personal brand book, and it's interesting how like now when I read it, I get it. Now that's what it is when you're like in this artist lane, is that you're gonna go through so many different like trials and obstacles. And even if you wrote it down, like I wrote this down, I'm gonna show you. Oh. Now I wrote this personal brand and how I influence. So I have everything that I just realized yesterday in these books. But I wouldn't be able to completely understand it if I didn't go through so many different obstacles and trying so many different things. So I don't know how else to say it. I just know that for me to have gotten to this place, you have to go through, you have to try all kinds of different things. And it's like failure leads to success. And this is not going to be my last time doing another strategy, but this is going to be where I am now. And this is the one that I know is completely like true, and it makes sense when you think about it. Look how much there's on that. Look how much there's on this. And then look at this one. Very clean and precise. Now that again just comes with just being able to put it all down, and then just it just seems like each board gets like more clear. So I'm excited. Start writing your strategies, and just every so often or whenever you feel like you've had this revelation, just rewrite another one, keep them, put the dates, and then let's keep going. Pew pew.